Today we want to talk about diabetes and whether diabetes can be reversed. Is it possible to control blood sugar without drugs, and can it be treated? And not to use chemical medicine or herbal medicine? Stay with us. We have very good content in this video. Even if you do not have diabetes, it will be useful for you to prevent diabetes. They declare diabetes as an incurable pain. If it is not the case at all, I promise you that if you follow my instructions, you will be cured like hundreds of patients who have been treated. Yes, but as long as you are patient and complete your treatment, because everyone thinks that diabetes can be cured with a herbal or chemical medicine. There is medicine, it is with normal sugar, and experience a life without medicine, God willing. See, with these methods and instructions, friends, the human body has the ability to recover and repair. Just as our skin regenerates itself when it gets scratched, when it gets injured, other organs also have the ability to regenerate and repair. It is enough for us to allow it, that is, to provide it with what it needs to repair itself. If the skin of our hands gets injured, you constantly pour acid, but the method is wet. Or if the conditions for the growth of microbes are provided, you will see that the skin does not repair well, but if the conditions are right. This will happen in order to restore it. And we have experienced that diabetes can be cured, and diabetes can be cured with a treatment period of between 2 months and 10 months, provided that during the treatment period, these things are patiently followed. We do not have incurable pain. All pains can be treated, provided that we understand the dimensions of human personality and the dimensions of his existence, and know that man is not just a body, man has a soul, and man has an intellectual power that can actually give order to the system. To transform a person and a human being into a creature that is the highest of creations and the best creature. For treatment, it is necessary to pay attention to all the dimensions of human existence. He carries it with him. It means he has a grudge, he is upset with someone, he doesn't let go of this discomfort and carries it with him day by day, and it actually affects the brain, and the brain affects all the body's hormones and glands and actually prevents treatment. It is possible, and many believe that diabetes is caused by unforgiveness. It is caused by holding grudges against others. Keep this in mind. And one of our recommendations for diabetic patients. Diabetes is believing in treatment. Treatment is an important principle for the treatment of diabetes. The third principle for the treatment of diabetes is to sign a truce. That is, I reach a peace with my family, with society, with my friends and family during the treatment period. I do not have a fight with anyone, whether it is mental or heart, and I don't have a problem, and I forgave everyone, not because they deserve to be forgiven, because I have peace, and I deserve treatment, and I need to be treated for a better life. So during the treatment period that I mentioned, I will serve you between 2 months and 10 months. During this period, I will sign a truce in my heart and in my mind. I will not argue with anyone, and during this period, I will try to live a peaceful life. That's why we even recommend to my friends to go to areas with good weather during the treatment period, places that, like rural areas away from urban conflicts and urban tensions, go to a secluded place if it is possible for them. If it is not possible, there is no problem. It is also possible in the same atmosphere of urban life because most of it is related to the human heart and human mind. In the first part of my talk, I explained the mental and spiritual side. I hope you think about it well, and you can even take help from psychologists. Or use different ways to calm your mind. What medicines should we use? What herbal teas should we use? And what should we not eat? Because not eating is also very important. And for the commandment of the first and most important principle of not eating first and then eating. Not only for diabetes, for all diseases. So first of all, what should diabetics not eat? A hospital should. Correct? The oil you use in food should not be industrial oils. We mean the same oils that are produced by factories, and most of them are industrial materials and are not edible. It is paraffin. The oil you use should be olive oil, which is the best oil in the world. It is olive oil with a smell, not odorless. Add 1 drop to the food. After a period of 2 weeks, they get used to the smell of olive oil, and then they can use olive oil. The next prohibition for diabetics is to eat a lot of meat. Those who eat a lot of meat should know that during the treatment period, meat should be kept to a minimum. They should reduce animal products to a minimum, and most of their food should be vegetarian. That is, about 90% of the food should be vegetable, and it is better that most of it be raw and use very little animal food. Diabetics have green tea and black tea. One of the effects of tea on the pancreas is that it disables the insulin-producing cells. If you have liked the video so far, please like us and subscribe to our channel. Sugar and white sugar and everything that has white sugar are prohibited during your treatment period, which will last between 2 and 10 months. Yes, you should give up this. The following is prohibited during the treatment period. White flour, you must remove white flour and use wholemeal flour instead. It is made in factories and there are junk foods, fast foods, etc. We have mentioned the prohibitions. We have also mentioned the intellectual and nervous considerations. Now let's go to the meal plan. The meal plan that I want to explain to you includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which you can change the time and use when you are hungry. I will also serve you snacks and drinks. He said, "Before I explain the diet and meal plan to you, in order to lift the spirits of diabetics and make them feel that they can control their sugar. Very soon, I will give a short and simple recipe for those whose sugar is above 250 or 300. They should remove the green cap of the eggplant, soak it in water, and drink the water after 24 hours. Even if it is 400, their blood sugar will drop below 150 for 3 days. This is very effective for people's morale. Above, start this diet. In the diet that I want to explain to you, please observe 2 principles and pay attention to it. In traditional medicine, we know 2 types of diabetes, a hot type diabetes and a cold type diabetes. This is how you recognize hot type diabetes. Those who feel hot most of the time always say, "Open the window and turn on the air conditioner." They always feel hot from the inside. These people have hot diabetes, and there are also people who do not feel this heat and feel cold, and their face is not red, their face is pale and pale. In fact, we call them cold diabetes. In the diet that I am explaining to you, foods that have a warmer temperament should be given to cold diabetics, and foods that have a cold temperament should be given to hot type diabetes. So I will tell you some types of food to choose. Based on the type of diabetes you have, by following this diet, you will see positive effects after 2 weeks. For breakfast, eat seasonal fruits like cucumber, great apples, strawberries, or seasonal fruits, and add a spoonful of honey, which is better with honey. It is very suitable for diabetics. If there is no regular but natural honey, mix a spoonful and drink it as a raw jam. It is better without bread. If diabetics do not have high blood fat, they can make a drink along with it. This drink contains a few raw hazelnuts or almonds, preferably 15, put in a blender. Put a teaspoon of honey and a glass of water in a blender for 3 minutes. And it will look like milk, which is so-called almond milk. This plus the raw jam that I told you can be a very nutritious breakfast for diabetics. The second breakfast for diabetics is sweet barley, sweet toasted oat flour, which is full grain. In fact, this with a spoonful of oil. Add 2 spoons of olive oil, 1 spoon of honey, and if there is rose water, mix well and eat this as a breakfast. Barley bread is also one of the items that can be used for breakfast, along with fruits such as grapes. This is the next breakfast. Please note that in all these foods that we are explaining to you, if they are used in moderation, they do not cause any problems for diabetics, and it is not the case that diabetics should not use natural sugars such as honey and fruit sugar if they are used in moderation and in the same style. We say go ahead, and that means their diet should be the same as we say these will not cause problems for people. The next breakfast is nightshade food. It is interesting to know that nightshade contains vegetable insulin, and it is both a food and a medicine. Well, let's go to some delicious lunches for diabetics, which are both food and medicine. The first lunch is soup. We called it diabetic soup. This soup is very delicious without string. Barley soup has 2 units of barley, 1 unit of wheat, and 1 unit of the other legumes, and you put fenugreek in it, and some Bukhara plums, which should be sun-dried plums and sulfurous and yellow plums. No, plums should be natural and olive oil, and for those who do not have blood fat, a leg of lamb. This can be a very good food for diabetics, as a diabetic soup and a diabetic soup. The second lunch for diabetics is brown rice with a layer of bran. Mandi means that they remove the bran from the rice and keep it as a layer, and the color of the rice is not very white and a little brown. Use this with olive oil. You can also have vegetable stews. During the week, try plum stews. Use spinach and don't put meat in it. I said that most diuretic foods are better without meat, especially in the first 15 days of this diet. Meat should be removed. Eliminate meat for a month. Now, some people say that you can't live without meat and you must eat meat. If you want meat, it is better to use fish meat. If they want to use red meat, our recommendation is camel meat, which is better for diabetics than sheep meat. I told you that in the first month of this diet plan and treatment period, the best situation is not to use meat. And if you are very persistent, eat this meat only once a week. Of course, it's not like camel once, fish meat once, and other meats are not like this. Just meat or fish or camel once a week. One of the other dishes you can use for lunch is okra stew, which is in most parts of the countries. There is this plant in the world and it controls sugar. Please boil the zucchini and okra, do not fry it, and you can use it with olive oil. The next lunch that diabetics can use is actually a natural and traditional curd. Okay, use this, and it is better with barley bread, because barley bread is hard, it is 50% wheat, 50% barley, but it is whole grain. This is a good diet food for diabetics. Friends who don't have brown rice available can use rice bran. Put 2 spoons of bran in the pot while the rice is cooking. What is the best option for diabetics so that they don't suffer from low blood sugar during the night when they are sleeping? Because they have sugar fluctuations. Some people suffer from low blood sugar and actually suffer from physical disorders. One of the dinners that we recommend to people there is a salad, called a special salad. I am telling you this special salad. I have the ingredients available to you. You can get it from vegetable and fruit stores: lettuce, cabbage, bush cucumbers, carrots, apples, wheat sprouts, alfalfa sprouts. If you had a mixture of mixed sprouts, you can add fresh lemon juice, a spoonful of sesame seeds, and olive oil, and you will have a very healthy and excellent salad. You must be very patient and chew well, because if you don't chew well, you may have a heart attack or indigestion. If it is chewed well, it is a wonderful dinner for diabetics. The other night for dinner, this special salad that we told you, and one of the foods that is both food and medicine for diabetics, is cocoa fenugreek. Fenugreek is a plant that is very suitable for diabetics. You can use this with local eggs. Okay, it's better if you don't have quail eggs, or quail eggs. If there's no other way, take a normal egg, boil it a little, make vegetable cocoa with fresh vegetables. It should be olive oil, and if it's boiled or steamed, use a little oil. You can eat it with barley bread as a dinner. The next dinner for diabetics is green grapes, which should be slightly sour, and if you can use it without bread, it is very good. If you want to eat bread, use whole grain bread. The next dinner for diabetics is chickpeas. Cook the chickpeas. Along with olive oil and onion. I said again, it is better without bread. If you want to eat bread, just use a little whole grain bread. Chickpea food is one of the foods that actually helps to strengthen sex. And most people who are diabetic usually have sexual problems, and this food helps them a lot. The good thing about the diets that I told you is that people who are pregnant can use these foods during pregnancy without any side effects for themselves and their fetuses. The natural form of insulin enters their body, and during pregnancy, especially those who have a hereditary background of diabetes in their families, if they use camel milk during pregnancy, they themselves will be protected from diabetes, and they will also taste it. The next thing is to use zucchini and cucumber. Those who include zucchini in their diet and try to use this valuable plant on a daily basis. Their sugar is controlled and they don't get diabetes. And if they get diabetes, their sugar goes down. These are the things that show themselves over time. Dear diabetics, walk for an hour a day. If it's hard for you, half an hour a day. If it's hard for you, make sure to walk for a quarter of an hour, which is a bit spicy. Use instead of black tea. One of the good teas for diabetics is a tea that is a combination of cinnamon and sour tea, which is also a delicious tea. You can also use dried berries instead of sugar. Dried berries are one of those things that are very good. For diabetics, even berry juice is good for them. Instead of coffee, be sure to use date coffee, which is obtained from date kernels. It is interesting to know that this coffee is very valuable. It lowers blood sugar, washes the kidneys, and if kidney stones. Also, for that, it is very suitable for you to use date coffee instead of these common coffees in the market. There is an interesting advice for diabetics. Don't neglect foot massage. Try to massage the soles of your feet for 5 to 10 minutes every day. Massage your foot and this will lower your blood sugar. You can also use massage devices. Put it on and actually massage your feet. This helps a lot, both to improve blood circulation in the end organs and actually to control blood sugar. In the next case, I will give you 2 versions, interesting versions that have been experienced that you can use safely. To control blood sugar and reduce blood sugar, use the first version that I told you to use eggplant caps, and soak a few eggplant caps in water and drink the water after 24 hours. This will lower blood sugar. The next version, it is a combination of ba fruit. Steam 4 of them, then mash it like they mash a potato. When it's mashed, pour natural apple cider vinegar and put it on the gas that actually starts to boil. Turn it off when it reaches the boiling temperature, and that's it. Put it in a glass and put it in the refrigerator. Use a spoonful of this after every meal. If you don't have it, you can use zucchini or cucumber instead. Finding and combining it with calming the nerves can lead to permanent and definitive treatment of diabetics. Friends, the first step is believing in the treatment and calming the nerves, which we mentioned at the beginning of the video. An interesting point, dear diabetics, try to never be constipated. It prevents the lowering of blood sugar. You must defecate twice a day. The next point for you, dear diabetics, and even those who do not have diabetes, is that your shoe which they use should not be plastic or plastic materials, and we recommend a product in this field called felt shoe soles, which have very delicate and very interesting layers made with felt, and this causes better blood circulation in the soles of the feet and legs. They don't sweat, and they don't get diabetic ulcers, so respectable diabetics should try to use felt insoles. And those who are older should use felt and cotton insoles, and not plastic ones, so that they don't get ulcers, and they should definitely use felt insoles for their feet. And if you feel that you have actually got a wound, close it very quickly with this mixture that I am telling you. Mix a mixture of honey and vinegar and apply it on the wound area. This will heal the wound. We will be very happy if you share your comments about this video and we can have an exchange of experiences. Subscribe to our channel and introduce it to your friends. Thank you very much. I hope to see you in the next videos.